Welcome back to Kentucky Route Zero, where we are in the grove collecting mushrooms. But she remembers being at hospital. She lit a second cigarette with the embers of the first one. She trembled, sweating like a little under a heavy coat. It was warmer near the doors, but she was following directions. No smoking within 25 feet of the hospital entrance. So she stood by a hot dog cart parked at the edge of the sidewalk. He tripped on a protruding root and lay for a while in the mud, examining the pale upper branches of a sycamore tree, listening to the soft rumble of a faraway thunderstorm, then louder, closer, and his hair stood on end, and there was the bird. Kate tries to wipe some mud off her boot. Oh, you got one, let's see it. A blue puffball, interesting. I don't think I've seen this exact species before. This one's too old to be of any use anyway. Puffballs get all dried out like this as they age, until they are so delicate that it only takes the slightest agitation. She gently shakes it, it bursts. And the wind does the rest. See, its weakness as a survival strategy. A kind of radical, transformative weakness. You got me beat, I didn't find a thing, so... You have a brother out there somewhere? Julian. He's going to come find me in the morning after the work is done. The bird is not your brother. Yep, we worked pretty hard. We used to spend part of each night looking for my folks, but now we pretty much just work. But maybe that will change now. I have some new friends. Or maybe the bird is his brother. There was the bird. Do you have a family? I almost had a baby once. Ooh. I learned a lot about difficult pregnancies, at least, so now I can help other women. I've basically been on my own since then. Well, that's not really true. Just about everyone who sets foot aboard the mucky mammoth feels like family to me now. I guess if nobody's family, then everybody's family. These are the only trees in this whole cave? Who planted them here? Right, not many trees down here in the dark. A month later, she came across a book on homeopathic medicine in a used bookstore and bought it. She thought it was mostly bullshit, but found the author's notes on the unpredictability of mushrooms immediately compelling, spiritual even. She started collecting mushrooms on hikes, never eating them, just collecting, identifying them and discarding. Eventually, she connected with the Lexicon Mycological Society and began to study in earnest the medicinal uses of fungi and throwing them away. Right, I know these are some kind of cypress, and they were definitely planted here deliberately by someone who, I guess I don't know much about this place really. It's supposed to be some kind of memorial to something. Will would know more. Sorry, it's a mystery. It's a mystery! I searched for clues. She put out her cigarette, said goodbye to the hot dog vendor, and spent the rest of the afternoon listening to doctors and trying to understand the word as they did, as a list of discrete injuries to be mended. Ezra examines a large stone monument. I'm interested. The monument is covered with lichen and painted text. This one. He reads the text. A graffiti. X plus 0 forever. X plus O forever. And then he looks around the shore, where he steps on a plastic bottle. A wooden post projects from the sand nearby. The wooden post. A groove is worn near the top of the post. He inspects the contents of his pockets. Alright, what have you got? The stone face monument had X plus O forever painted on it. Interesting, what do you think that means? Hugs and kisses forever? Or there could be initials, Xavier and Olivia forever. Xerxes and Oliver? What do you think that monument is for? I'm not sure anyone remembers. That's my new favorite rock. Wow, even better than Dinosaur Rock? I think so. There's a pole in the ground up over there. It's all scratched up. Oh yeah, I bet people tie their boats there. Maybe someone who takes care of the trees. Could be. Or other travelers and mushroom hunters like us. There are cats on this boat. Well, I can't say I know what that all adds up to. Like I said, I wish Will were here. He'd have some local history for us. We can ask him back on the boat. We look up at an old battleship drifting by, with cats. Oh, there it is, the Iron Pariah. Ah, we heard about that in the interlude. Don't worry, it's just passing by. What do you think of it? Ezra's parents shook him awake. They seemed alarmed, but not immediately concerned. They led him back to the house, past their house, into the car. Dad said they were going to stay at the bus station for a while, the one with a little arcade with a caviar game he liked. Dad watched him closely in the rear view mirror, expecting Ezra to be excited or confused or scared. But he didn't feel anything. He hardly seemed to hear. In fact, he felt like he was observing the family car from a distance, from far above, from the clouds. Is it full of ghosts? Oh, I don't know, probably. I mean, no, definitely not. You don't believe in ghosts, do you? No? I've never met a young kid who really believed in ghosts. Lots of older people do, though. I wonder why that is. Supposedly there's nobody even on board. No people, I mean. There must be something on there. Life's everywhere. Rats, insects, some kinds of hardy mold, and cats. Part of it could be flooded and host to some of the eyeless fish that live in the echo. Hey, maybe there are some mushrooms growing in there, slowly consuming military rations from over 100 years ago. Someone told me she got close to it by accident and heard a strange wailing sound. She was a passenger on the Mammoth. She said she'd been out fishing on the rowboat and got swept up by a current near the cluttered place. Before she knew it, the Iron Pariah was upon her, unimaginably massive up close, but eerily silent. The only sound, she said, were the lapping of the lake water against the iron hull, and a faint sort of, well, she said, a chorus of mews. I'll be damned if I know what that sounds like. You know what it sounds like, you just heard it. I've never gotten myself close enough to the ship. More mysteries, they do pile up over time as people forget the details. Thank you for taking me mushroom picking. Mushroom hunting, you can't pick apples because they are right out there in the open. Mushrooms hide, you have to hunt for them. Then let's drive on. It's time to go. See that rough cycle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than 2/3 of it is actually underwater. I haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made and the rocks weren't placed according to their size, so what's visible is more or less a uniformly random selection of the overall shape. It looks like it might be a spiral or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of this is a petrified oak stump that was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony took place. The Locklocks married here. Many Freytoid observers said they should just go with lock or luck, or splitting the difference with look, or even lick, or anything else, but it was never going to happen. Billy Luck and W.H. Locke met in line at the DMV. Their driver's license photographs were mixed up by the clerk, a mistake they discovered immediately but never corrected. That's interesting because when I was to receive my driving license, they gave me another one, like the next one in line, same starting letter of last name. And that was the license of a person of a girl I knew who had her test the next day, but the license was already there because they have to print it in advance, and she failed that the test. But I had her license in hand before. She did it on the second try though. There can be weird situations where you just fail the test because something happens that you don't know how to react to, and you are just reacting wrong because you're not experienced enough. So a little story on the side. The engagement was welcome news for the family business, who had been looking for some opportunity to merge interests. These were the Locks of Large Animal Storage and the Lucks of Luck Family Nut Company. That's a name, the Luck Family Nut Company, great. Surely someone in some branch of those two great trees had elephant husbandry on the brain. This is all speculation. The ceremony itself was humble and perfunctory, and it must have somehow involved these rocks. Probably the rocks mark the boundaries between the two families, locks on the inner loop and locks on the outer, or the other way around, and must also have involved that petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persist that the officiant wore a robe. Shannon and her friends set out in the dinghy because I don't want to stay on the boat, because that are the shorter scenes, I assume, to deliver a package at the telephone exchange. Scene 7. The Echo River Central Exchange. Like 6 of the 7 scenes so far were in this act were choices, which is great. Thanks again for your help. That's about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. I usually send Will, but he's up to elbows in mammoth grease right now, so you'll pass through the bat sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed the name and the power company took over. Anyway, it's just on... You have a memorable name and then you change it to a name that's not memorable. Great. Anyway, it's just on the other side of the bat sanctuary. The package is going to Poppy. She's an operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Sam and Ida's for our scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river, can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the bat sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really sort of, I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Bye! I'm just pointing my lamp around, that's all I can do. I want to read these signs. We claim these helmets in the names of the folks who wore them, and we place them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of that power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safety for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Their lungs were black, but now they are washed clean and full of water too, and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we never will find, and so we guess the water buried them for us, so let this here be the marker for their grave. And if any son of a bitch from that power company wants to take back these helmets as company property, just you try it and see what will happen. Hey Elkhorn, that's the mine we went in, where your folks worked. Looks like it's been here a while. I sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. You think whoever wrote it is still that angry? I don't think you ever forget anger like that. No, I guess you probably don't. This probably stirs up. I mean, how do you... It's fine, I'm glad this is here. People should remember this has happened. Well, here we are, remembering, and I didn't even know it's the first time around. Didn't even know it the first time around, but here I am remembering it now. That's a fine memorial, I guess. Go to the bad place. Hey, you're pointing it the wrong way. Ah, there's one of those boats where you... Ah no, it's not one of the boats where you have pedals to go. Hi. Those are guys from the distillery. What, you're looking at me like I'm crazy, huh? Are you feeling okay? Oh sure, it doesn't hurt anymore, my leg. It's just kind of numb, like it's not there. My shoulder too, actually. That's an old one though, from an accident. I'm lucky I just had some nerve damage there. It probably should have been a lot worse. You know, these guys from distillery are just making the best of a bad situation, just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of these medical bills for my leg, you know. Get it all together on a plan, consolidate it. That sounds like a real bad idea. Oh, I don't know. They seem to have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff. They've got the whole process figured out. Anyway, I have a feeling it will all work out. Even for me? Hey, why not? Seems like we're getting pretty close to finding your cousin, right? And besides that, she's just somewhere. Finding your cousin might be difficult. And besides that, you're young and smart, plenty of time to bounce back from whatever. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss Ira, Lizette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much, but somehow Liz got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did. Or maybe so his ghost could hold it over me, just one more thing to feel like I owed him for. Anyway, they got their own trucks at the distillery, and now that the antique shop is closing up, I've got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it. Sure, I could keep an eye on it for you until you get straightened out. Sure, okay, sounds good. Visitors to the Echo River American Cave Bed Artificial Hibernaculum and Sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white noise syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you have visited any cave known or suspected to host beds infected with white nose syndrome. Not white noise syndrome, white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any beds or structures. The American cave bed is confused by light. If you are using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract and confuse beds. If you are approached by beds, do not panic, relax, stop your vehicle and switch off your light. Never touch a bed. I think we're not moving while the lamp is down. So once I see beds, I just turn it off. Oh, they have little bird houses in the trees. Why do they give the bats little bird houses? And why do the bats live in a swamp? And where do the trees come from? We're underground. I saw a bat. Bat fact, ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high frequency. Clicks too high for humans to hear, then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of these ultrasonic clicks. By comparing various subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, differences in just millions of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it still needs to avoid running into everything. So bats keep clicking away even while they munch on a tasty bug snake. Maybe poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. I wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug. Sometimes it's hard to know with people too. Oh yeah, like, how about this weather? I guess there are layers to it, right? Sometimes you just need to get the other person talking so you can check their body language or hear what their voice sounds like, find out that they're friendly or angry or drunk. Damn, it's really dark down here. Are you still there? I touch him. Oh, there you are. I hope that's you, huh? I was just thinking about my ma, I guess because we were talking about your forks a minute ago. To be honest with you, I don't think about her that often. Your cousin brought her up earlier and she's just been on my mind. It's good your folks have a memorial. A lot of people, no one remembers them when they're gone. You mean like your ma? Oh no, she would have hated that. I don't know what I mean, haha. The American cave bat's natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial sanctuary, we use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wards to repel any potentially contaminant-bearing insects and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoth, which we call the little grey nothing moth. That's not a good idea. You may be thinking that the other moths and insects the American cave bat would have been eating are very much relieved by their natural predator has found another food source. Not so. We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the American cave bat normally hunts to balance their escape from the food chain. Great, so they're just catching the other things so that they don't multiply too fast. Great. Why don't they just leave it as it is? But eating moths isn't the only systemic contribution these bats made. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of guano that helps plant life thrive along the Echo River, the shore of Lake Lath. Yeah, you can use bat guano to fertilize plants. Also, you can make explosives out of it. In order to minimize the sanctuary's impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect that precious guano here at the hibernaculum and manually distribute throughout the caves. It's a full-time job. Why don't they just let them fly around and drop it where they want? Sounds like a lot of work. It's all fake, except for the bats. Yeah, I guess so. Reminds me of that guy Donnet and his crew down there with the computer. Right, it's reassuring to know someone's taking care of everything for these little bats. No, it kind of bothers me, like they're tricking the bats. Yeah, in this case, I think it's about survival. I mean, if that's the bottom line, what's the difference? Like the folks in the bar, you said you were used to buy stuff, fence, canneries, all those little trinkets to make it bearable. There's still a lot of stuff down there. It feels cluttered, but human. I just mean all people need is enough to pretend we're home, and we can make it anywhere. Sure, people can, but what about bats? Huh. Maybe we'll have to teach them. Hell, what am I saying? I know about 100% more on the subject of bats now than I did when we came down here. I didn't learn a thing about bats. I knew all of that in before. Except for the thing that they trick them, which is not good. Don't interfere with nature on anything. Just let nature be nature. Lizette's sick. I mean, she's old, we're both old. Hey, you're about the youngest person I know right now. Oh, and the kid, maybe Blue, by a people calendar. In dog years though, I bet she has us all beat. So I'm old too, sure, and I forget stuff all the time, especially if I had a few and my brain is swimming. But I mean, Liz, it's all going away. She's losing words you'd never think you'd lose. Not just like the street she grew up on, but the names of colors and types of furniture, or even the word furniture. Should say we still got a few nice pieces in the what's that I call the shed where we put the bigger pieces, the beds and couches, and yeah, that's how I talk too. It's normal. And I'd say, Liz, why do you keep teasing me about that time I fell asleep in the furniture shed when it's so damn comfortable in there? I tried to help her keep some dignity, you know. That's all I had to offer at the end. She has a sister in Nashville who will take good care of her, and now that I'm not around the shop all the time, what was that old guy's name? He used to make deliveries for the shop. He smells like leather. Ira was always yelling at him. Too drunk to work on the one day he could have been in the right place at the right time. She means a lot to you? Are you worried about losing her? You know it's inevitable. At this age people are going all the time. Friends, family, everyone. It's natural. I don't wish she'd live forever. Just that she keeps some dignity as she goes. I think that's the best we can wish for anyone to care about. I think the bats are clearing out. There's a plague again. White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that the white fungal growth which appears on bats' faces and wings irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy that they need to survive through winter. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly and it is highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to colony collapse disorder as suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent and mysterious. Will honeybees at the American cave bed be two more lost species wiped out in a geological blink and forgotten to natural history? It's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of this artificial hibernaculum is your best hope of preserving them. As you leave the Echo River American cave bed hibernaculum and security, please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. I think we're leaving the place now. Yeah, that's interesting, like, the way the bees are dying at the moment. It's really a problem, because nature needs them to, I almost said fertilize the trees to, make them produce offspring. The trees and the flowers and the plants, they need the bees or other insects. It's really a problem. Oh, that's a tunnel we're going into now. A reception desk. Weird. That's Flora. Let's talk to Conway first. Careful up there, can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs. You two try not to make any more bad deals while I'm gone. I'll just be floating along down here. I just mean, keep your eyes open and don't look back. Flora. Oh, hi, I remember you. What are you doing down here? I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. Really? I think I'm more classical myself. That sounds like the same thing to me. Okay, bye. Yeah, a kid wouldn't know the difference between classic and romantic, because that's like art periods and not a thing a kid normally interacts with. Does she? Could be bypassed with another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. Yep, farads is the right unit. Someone's using the right unit for capacity. That's rare. If your circuits are too noisy, you should tie those floating pins to ground. Oh, that's a pretty good idea. They're probably picking up all kinds of radio interference. Dashiell Morse, pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box in the customer could attach right before the wall jack. Sounds like a good gig, fixing old phones. Oh well, yeah, I'm just about every night. I'm here just about every night. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station, it's true. They had bats then too, but they were considered a nuisance. What happened to the train station? Well, the river shifted and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Normally not. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman. A skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. Oh, I should have looked at the art better. I should have put my old man voice on instead of the young person. Okay. We used trees instead of poles. I miss that actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well, I'm in no good shape to be climbing anything these days. The closet I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks. WEVP, that's community television. I've volunteered there for a number of years. I know everybody over there. Ralph, Sherry, Weaver, Dave. Weaver Marquez? Sure, Weaver Marquez, that's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple of times at the TV station. I suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives and I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear though. She had a head for sickness, I think. No idea where she ended up. I would guess she's probably not too popular around the station anymore, but I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything, just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you. Okay, and we'll be going to Poppy in the next episode. Let's read that back now. Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of the Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft. But old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, even pull them out of pockets, and deliver them to other people nearby, to delight or embarrassment. Word spread, and travelers passing through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together as in a disguised newspaper stand, set aside for their habitation, and that's where we left them. Can't talk to Flora again. Okay, let's talk to Poppy in the next episode. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day.